In 2025, the United States immigration system has once again become a focal point of global attention, as President Donald Trump, now serving his second term, has rolled out one of the most controversial travel restriction proposals in U.S. history. This new immigration framework moves beyond targeting just a few nations and introduces a sweeping color-coded system that categorizes over 40 countries into red, orange, and yellow tiers, each representing distinct levels of visa restrictions. Far more extensive than previous policies, these measures are already disrupting the lives of international families, students, tourists, and workers, with some unable to board flights and others trapped in prolonged visa processing delays. The policy's scope and its implications are profound, affecting millions worldwide. In this comprehensive breakdown, we will explore the countries included in each tier, what these categories mean in practice, and how the 2025 immigration rules are reshaping global mobility. The red tier represents the most severe restrictions, imposing a total immigration ban on 11 countries identified as high risk due to security concerns, lack of cooperation with U.S. agencies, or broken diplomatic relationships. These nations are Afghanistan, Bhutan, Cuba, Iran, Libya, North Korea, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, Venezuela, and Yemen. Citizens from these countries are completely barred from entering the United States under any visa category, including tourist, student, work, or immigrant visas. The ban also extends to reviewing and potentially canceling existing visas, meaning even those with prior approvals may be denied entry. For instance, Venezuelans who previously traveled to the U.S. for tourism or medical treatment are now entirely blocked, while Iranians, who often pursue academic opportunities in American universities, face complete exclusion. North Korea, already one of the world's most isolated nations, is further cut off. The consequences are far-reaching, splitting families, halting educational aspirations, and dashing long-term visa hopes for thousands with no immediate exemptions or workarounds available. The orange tier, while not a full ban, imposes significant partial visa restrictions and heightened security measures on 10 countries: Belarus, Eritrea, Haiti, Laos, Myanmar, Pakistan, Russia, Sierra Leone, South Sudan, and Turkmenistan. These nations are flagged for issues such as identity fraud, inadequate passport security, or failure to share criminal records with U.S. authorities. Citizens from these countries can still apply for certain visa types, but the process is deliberately rigorous, involving in-person interviews, extensive fingerprinting, criminal history checks, and often months-long processing delays. Denials are common, frequently without explanation. For example, Russian citizens face intense scrutiny even for simple tourist visas, while Pakistani applicants are targeted due to concerns about terrorism financing and insufficient biometric tracking. Haitian citizens encounter enhanced interview requirements and extended wait times, particularly for family-based visas. And Myanmar students who frequently attend U.S. universities are now grappling with visa delays and denials due to their country's ongoing internal conflict. This tier effectively filters applicants through some of the most stringent immigration protocols in U.S. history, making approvals for student F1 and work H-1B visas particularly rare. The yellow tier, often overlooked but equally critical, includes 22 countries under official review for their document security, identity verification practices, or information sharing agreements with the U.S. government. These nations, Algeria, Angola, Bangladesh, Benin, Burkina Faso, Cameroon, Central African Republic, Chad, Congo, Brazzaville, Congo, Kinshasa, Djibouti, Egypt, Gambia, Guinea, Iraq, Kenya, Lebanon, Liberia, Mali, Mauritania, Niger, and Nigeria have a 60-day window to address U.S. concerns or risk escalation to the orange or red tiers. This tier covers a significant portion of Africa, the Middle East, and South Asia, with countries like Nigeria, Africa's most populous nation, under scrutiny for document integrity and visa overstays, following a previous restriction in 2020. Bangladesh is being monitored for rising asylum cases and weak biometric checks, while Iraq and Lebanon face review due to active militant networks and irregular passport data. The stakes are high. Failure to comply with U.S. demands could lead to partial or full bans, drastically limiting travel and immigration opportunities for millions. The practical impact on individuals from these countries varies by tier, but is uniformly disruptive. For those from red-tier countries, visa applications are automatically rejected, and even valid visa holders may be turned away at U.S. airports. Green card applications are frozen, and even spouses or children of U.S. citizens may be unable to join their families. Orange tier applicants face extreme vetting, including mandatory interviews, prolonged processing times, and a high likelihood of denial, particularly for student and work visas, which are seeing sharp declines in approvals. Yellow tier citizens are in a precarious position as their country's failure to meet U.S. requirements within the 60-day review period could push them into stricter categories, subjecting them to the same challenges as orange or red tier nations. These restrictions are already causing significant hardship, stranding families, derailing academic and professional plans, and creating uncertainty for those with pending applications. The international response has been swift and critical. Countries like Iran and Venezuela have accused the Trump administration of xenophobia, threatening retaliatory visa measures against American citizens. Russia has labeled the framework politically motivated, while several affected nations have formally protested the policy. Within the United States, human rights organizations are gearing up for legal challenges, arguing that the color-coded system is discriminatory and violates international norms. The Trump administration, however, remains steadfast, asserting that the policy is a matter of national security, not race or religion. Officials argue that the U.S. has the sovereign right to control its borders and demand cooperation from foreign governments. They claim that if countries address issues like biometric verification, passport fraud prevention, or terrorist tracking, their restrictions could be lifted. However, the feasibility of meeting these demands within the given time frame, especially for nations with limited resources or internal instability, remains questionable. For individuals affected by these policies, immediate action is critical. First, seeking legal advice from an immigration attorney is essential, as the rapidly changing landscape may offer limited exemptions, waivers, or emergency parole options. Second, those eligible to apply for a visa should do so as soon as possible, before restrictions tighten further or additional countries are added to higher tiers. Third, individuals already in the U.S. should avoid unnecessary international travel until the policies are clarified, as re-entry is not guaranteed, even with valid visas. Finally, staying informed through official U.S. government updates and consulting verified immigration professionals is crucial, as rumors and misinformation can lead to costly mistakes. Countries may be added or removed from the tiers, and diplomatic negotiations could alter the policy's trajectory, making vigilance and preparedness paramount. In conclusion, 2025 U.S. immigration framework, with its color-coded tier system, represents a seismic shift in global mobility, affecting millions across over 40 countries. The red tier's outright bans, the orange tier's stringent vetting, and the yellow tier's looming deadlines create a complex and challenging environment for travelers and immigrants alike. While the Trump administration defends the policy as a necessary security measure, the human toll, split families, stalled careers, and shattered dreams is undeniable. As the world watches and responds, the coming months will reveal whether diplomacy, legal challenges, or compliance efforts can soften the impact of this unprecedented immigration overhaul.